right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Blacklogic. So I started to revere, or I guess stray away from really anchoring into a lot of tethering talk, even though we have a lot of tethers from all around the globe. They come in many shades, colors, and races. But this particular video right here stood out to me because I stumbled upon it. It says my Chinese wife had no idea black people invented these things. Now, just looking at the gentleman, and I thought he was originally from the Caribbean or Africa. To me, he didn't look like a typical Black American, with the chin, with no mustache. Even though we do our hair in many different styles, but I'll just kind of look at his features, and there's plenty of Africans that you can't tell are actually African. They kind of look Black American from what we normally see ourselves to be, versus with strong African features, because again, there was an ethnogenesis. So there's an admixture of Tainos, Native Americans, white people from Europe, as well as the typical Native Americans. So there's a large admixture within being a foundational Black American. But when it came to this video right here, because this particular clip, in my opinion, is a perfect example of how a lot of people would chop this up as Black solidarity, but it turns into Black identity theft when people get lazy with the details, especially as the gentleman here. We're going to watch pretty much of this tape here, okay? And he gets kind of greedy with the credit, because yes, I love that he's telling his Chinese wife that Black people invented all these great things, right? But then he does the thing a lot of folks do when they tend to lose the receipt, right? They kind of get too specific. Rather, he starts naming Black American inventors, then slides the credit into a big vague bucket called Africa. So you have all these different groups of people that live around the world, and they have these different ethnic groups. Even though a lot of the Africans that were taken from the continent and brought over to the Caribbean, brought over to Brazil, you never hear them call themselves African. They're Jamaican, they are Trinidadian, they are Brazilian, or even sometimes African Brazilian. But nevertheless, no one is really clinging to that unless they're from the continent. And as it should, you should have pride on where you're from and the many achievements and great things that you guys have done. But we are a specific ethnic group just as well as any other Black group. So if we have decided not only to delineate from this, but to really have a term that truly defines us, with not eradicating, because you see that we're Black, okay, we have really dark melanin skin, and we can make the argument that everybody's from Africa. But he starts naming Black American inventors, then slides the credit into this really big bucket called Africa. And that's not education. That's what you call tethering. Okay, that's credit laundering. They love telling you we all from Africa, right? When it's time to name who actually did the work. But again, if everybody's from Africa, if Chinese people are from Africa, okay, if Europeans are from Africa, which again, all these anthropologists around the world say that everyone originated in Africa. So when is there a distinction? Okay, so in my opinion, that's not unity. That's a credit heist with a kumbaya soundtrack. Okay, just saying whatever to sound good. But nonetheless, I'm watching this skit, with the African dude and his Chinese wife, and he's trying to, basically prove that Black people invented everything. I mean, that's cool. That's great energy. But the moment she asks, where are these inventors from, he hits her with this kind of oldest magician line in human history, right? And he kind of let the cat out the bag, but never really told the truth. But again, I'm going to stop yapping. I'm going to let you guys listen to what I've heard, okay?
Okay.
Because you don't know, all right?
I don't know.
Actually, Black inventions are more than Chinese inventions.
Blacks? Really?
Of course. You see, your schools doesn't teach you. They don't teach you about Black inventions.
Inventions. What is it? What do Blacks invent? I know a lot, but like, give me something.
In fact, in all your life, in everyday life, you use black invented things.
My life.
In your life, every day, you cannot live one day without black invention. Tell me I'm wrong, and I will start.
I don't believe you.
All right, great. Where is your phone?
My phone?
Give me your phone.
My phone is here.
Yes, this is black invention. Bye-bye.
How can you take my phone away?
Yeah, it's black invented.
Why?
This phone, the first cellular phone, cell phone, was invented by a black man.
Cell phone?
Cell phone was
Not smartphone, right?
Cell phone. You're crazy. Not smartphone. Cell phone. Yes.
Really?
Cell
What about
phone.
telephone?
The telephone? No. But the cell phone was invented by a black man. And do you know his name?
No, I don't know.
Name was Henry T. Sampson.
Sensor.
All right?
So sensor is for me.
It's not something from the Bible. Are you okay?
Samsung. Samsung.
Not Samsung. No. That's Korean product. All right? Henry T. Sampson was the inventor of the cell phone. So you get it? That's number one. Okay, great. So you want to know things black invented? Follow me. Let's go. Up. We're going up.
We're going. Oh.
Okay, now let's first break this first lie down. Now here's the problem with this. He's not telling the accurate history of some of these inventions that we've created or we didn't create it. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, Henry T. Sampson did not invent the first cell phone. Okay, so he got that wrong. And this is the thing about being, knowing your own history, really studying and analyzing your own history. And hopefully a Chinese person can see this video, and I'm going to give you the real history of some of this thing and dispel the lies that he told to his wife. So hopefully not only, foundational Black Americans, Africans, and I do wish a lot of our, great Chinese people out there look at this video as well. Ni hao, shishi, yeah, all that good stuff. So let me show you who actually invented the cell phone. This guy, Martin Cooper. Martin Cooper is the inventor of the cell phone. Okay, he invented it, back in 1971, 72, 73, somewhere around that time. Let me see. Okay, he invented it in 1973, so I was correct. So he built the first cell phone back in 1973. Martin Cooper. Now, as you can see here, this is Henry T. Sampson. And if you go down here, his invention was of the gamma electric cell that was patented back in 1971. And some people allude, some people confuse, and some people get it twisted that he invented the cell phone and he didn't. These are two different disciplines. Okay. He was dealing around nuclear energy, nuclear fission, things of that nature with radiation, whether it be alpha, beta, gamma. Alpha and beta are particles, and gamma is an energy wave. Just to give you guys some context, I know a little bit about this stuff. So again, he gave his Chinese wife here the wrong information. Now, some people say, well, they're just, lying about Black Americans. Anytime we are surrounded by a particular invention, let's say like the light bulb, okay, Lewis Latimer, he created the carbon filament in the light bulb. Even though they give Thomas Edison the credit for inventing the light bulb, no, Thomas Edison was the inventor who had a team of different inventors who created the light bulb. Because he was the investor, he's the one who funded everything, he gets the credit, okay? Because we know without the carbon filament of the light bulb would not emit light. And when it did, it didn't emit light long. It was like a minute or so before it burnt out. But nevertheless, I digress. Now, if you guys don't believe what I'm saying, are you guys going to believe from the horse's mouth, so to speak? Right here is Henry T. Sampson, ladies and gentlemen, who people believe that he created a cell phone. So I'll let Henry tell us. Henry, what you got to tell us, bro?
And let me just make one comment as a side. If you Google my name on the internet, okay, there's a good chance that it's going to come up Henry T. Sampson, inventor of the cell phone. And as a matter of fact, it came up during my introduction last night. That is untrue. And I don't know how that.
How did that sleep in?
I don't know how it came out, and I think it came out because somebody saw that I had the gamma electric cell,
Right. But
and
not
connected together with
cell
the
phone.
cell phone, and it's two completely different principles they operate on, and it had nothing to do. And I assure people, if I had invented the cell phone, I would own an island someplace in the South Pacific.
We would be down there.
Yeah, right. We would do.
All right, so our good brother Henry T cleared that up. I'm glad that brother was still alive at this time to really reveal the truth, because a lot of times as Black Americans, we invented so many things. Don't get me wrong, we invented so many things, but we didn't invent everything, okay? But we invented a lot of things, especially a lot of things around the home in technology. Laser fight code, Patricia Bath, she created that removed cataracts from people's eyes. Also was a pioneer for laser, what they call it, LASIK surgery. So again, we've invented so many great things, but we didn't invent the cell phone, guys. We didn't do it. But we have, a guy that seems to be from Africa, okay, telling his Chinese wife what we created. So he started off with a lie. Okay, let's listen in for more.
All right, so great. So you entered this. What is this?
This elevator.
This is an elevator, right?
Yeah.
This was invented by a black.
No way! You're kidding me.
Yeah, I'm not kidding you. Yes, elevator was invented by a black man. If you don't like black people, get out from the elevator. This was invented by a black man.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, you have nothing to say. Blacks are genius. Just that they don't teach you at school.
I have a genius.
Oh, I'm the smartest. This elevator is too slow. It's not invented by a black man.
You're crazy.
This one is too slow.
This one from
This one was invented by a Japanese.
Oh.
Hello. All right. So you.
Okay, here we go. So a Black man invented the automatic elevator doors. He didn't invent the elevator, okay? This is the person who invented the elevator. Alicia Grave Otis is the one who invented the elevator. And it was first invented back in 1852. I think he's getting, let me pop on another window here. He's getting this person mixed with Alexander, if my memory serves me correctly, Alexander Miles. Okay, I think, yeah, his invention. Okay. Let me show you here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want Black Americans to take credit for other people's stuff, because they love taking credit for Black American inventions, foundational Black American inventions, just like hip hop. We see there's demographics of people are really trying to steal the culture, and we're not going to let them, by the way. We're going to keep calling this out every single time. Now, here we go. This is our brother Alexander Miles, okay? And it says, while basic elevators existed for centuries, Alicia Graves Otis invented the first practical elevator with a safety brake in 1852, yada, yada, yada. Okay, we're going to get down to see, recognize the danger in design, and then came up with the idea for automatic doors. Let me blow this up for you guys. I'm sorry about that. Okay. He recognized the dangers in the doors of the elevator and invented automatic doors. Bing, bong. He's the one who created the elevator automatic doors. But again, Alicia Graves Otis back in 1852 created the first elevator. Okay. All right, let's listen in for more lies.
You enjoy the elevator, right? It was invented by Alexander Miles.
Huh?
All right, that's his picture up here. That's another invention by who?
Alexander
Miles. Who invented it?
Alexander?
Is he a black or yellow man? He's a black man. He's a black man. So that's also another thing from the black family. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So I've showed you how many already? Two. Follow me. Let's go. You are in trouble now.
My turn.
All right, Sophia, you see that thing? That red, yellow
traffic light.
traffic light, right? Okay, great.
Don't traffic lights invented by black people? Invented. No way. Really?
Garrett Morgan. Traffic lights was
All right, family. I have to clear some other things up here because I teach my son our history, and I'm very, very proud of our history. But it's just kind of weird for me because he started naming inventors, elevators, traffic lights, pencil sharpeners, sanitary products, and some of them real. I mean, Black Americans, we're a genius. It's carved into U.S. patents, but under segregation, built under a system that we've done all these achievements that hated us. But when you have someone that flips the origin story, and basically you're going to see here that Africa did it. No, sir. That's like me claiming chopsticks because I eat rice sometimes. And can I give you guys a spoiler alert? Did you know in this video, he stated that a Black man invented chopsticks? He had me researching harder than I've ever researched before. Chopsticks was invented in China about 5,000 years ago. And then the other adjacent Asian countries like Japan and Korea all picked it up. Vietnam and all these other picked it up. But essentially, it's a reason why they made chopsticks, because they ate a lot of noodles and things, and that noodles are easily wrapped in chopsticks. So he just made a 2 pair of very narrow sticks to eat his food instead of with his hands. But again, he stated that Gerd A. Morgan invented the traffic light. Gerd A. Morgan did invent a version of the traffic light. He didn't invent the first traffic light. So again, he didn't really. Again, she's going to think that we invented the traffic light, right? We invented the version with the yellow light. Okay, and I believe there's another function that Garrett Morgan put it on as well. Whether it be timed or not, because when they first came out with the traffic light, you just had red and green. So go stop. There was no in between to give the driver warning to slow down. So there was still a lot of action. There was less accidents with the traffic light, but it was still a very significant amount. So Garrett A. Morgan's like, hey, we need an intermediary. We need something to warn us before it turns to red. So that was a genius within itself, but I'm not going to take credit for what someone else did. Because I think, again, the first traffic light, I think, was invented by an Englishman, a white Englishman. If I can recall correct, I could be wrong. But nevertheless, we created a different version of the traffic light. We improved the traffic light, okay? Wow.
invented by a Black man.
Traffic lights.
Garrett Morgan. That's his picture here. You can read about him. Yeah, traffic light was invented by a Black man. You people cannot drive without a Black man's invention.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, everything is made by Black people. You just don't know. They have to suffer, so they have to find a way to make things easy. The traffic light was made by what? Say the name.
Gilbert.
No, I don't want. I want the color. What's his name? Black man. Yeah. Thank you. Each month you have to have it 5 days. What is it? Period. The pad. Very good.
Really?
Was invented by a Black woman.
My is not end.
Oh, she says it's not at the end of the month, but I don't even know.
And granted, some of you guys may think, well, Blacklogic, he's just a true Pan-Africanist. So any Black achievement he's going to celebrate, and that's a good thing. And if that was true, which I don't know, then I would say, yeah, of course. But here's the thing. In delineation, which other Black groups around the world had done for quite some time, ladies and gentlemen. And when we do it, now there's all Black people have done it. That's not the way this works.
When is it? Ladies, let me know in the comment section, okay?
Everybody's different.
I think it's at the end of the month. At the beginning or at the end of the month. Choose one. Yeah. Cooking, huh? What are you going to use? A stove or a washing machine?
Of course, no stove.
Stove.
Stove. I'm
You
not
know who
going to.
invented the stove?
Don't tell me it's another black guy.
T.A. Warrington, a black guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, another lie, another misconception, another wolf in sheep clothing. Now, I'm going to give you guys 10 seconds. I'm going to give you guys 10 seconds to put it in the chat. And whoever gets it right within the 10 seconds, that's all you get is 10 seconds. Who this person is right here, I'll send you $100. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. I didn't see nothing in the chat. And people who know me, I will send you the money. Okay. Who is this gentleman right here in this picture? Let me blow this up. This is not, what's the name? The guy who invented the stove. That's true. T.A. Warrington is the one who invented the stove. But this is not his picture. Thank you, sis. This is George Washington Carver. Okay. This is George Washington Carver. This is the issue. This is the problem when we have other people who are cards playing and tethering and anchoring themselves to our history, to our achievements. He has his Chinese wife head over heels for him and so surprised that Africans invented all of these things. Why do I say Africans?
Warrington, a black guy.
Now, mind you, all through this video, he's saying a black guy, a black guy, a black guy, a black guy, a black guy.
A black guy invented the stove.
Maybe go and sleep.
Everything you use in this world was made by a black man.
Your black man invention.
You know, I'm holding it together over here, family, but this is so despicable because if you're going to teach our history, can you please teach it correctly? Can you please teach it with the right people and the right names and the right faces and the actual true invention that they have created? Can you at least do that? Because believe it or not, I'm not saying that he's trying to, but this is highly disrespectful when you don't do your homework. This is highly disrespectful when you're doing your homework, because when you have all of these tethers lying about things and then people go fact check, they're like, he was lying. They didn't invent that. Then so when you tell people what we invented, you know, not only were they act surprised, like, wait a minute, that's a lie. I saw somebody else who was trying to do this. So that's why I'm here to tell the truth. I didn't want to go back into these tethering videos. I just got tired of it. My brain is just too big to keep talking about tethers. We know what they do, but this one, teaching our history, that was also disrespectful to me. That's the reason why I did this particular video. And this is not to, you know, all Africans, all Caribbeans, but those who tether, those who cosplay, those who anchor, because you can have a lady on a podcast who's from Haiti, who has a Black American vernacular, a Black American sound, a Black American phonetic, a Black American enunciation and pronunciation. And then she would call Black Americans dirty. I remember a time in the military, and we would be out in, you know, the field. We call it training. We'd be out in the desert or, you know, in some sort of state or country's woods or jungle, right? And we don't have access to showers and things of that nature unless you was really, you know, close or a part of a support unit. And they probably had like the field showers and things of that nature. But depending on who you were, you know, training with or deployed with, you didn't have showers. So a lot of us took baby wipe baths, you know, just to clean our skin, to get that sticky film off. And then, but after about 2 or 3 days of you doing that, you're like, I have to take a shower. So we used to take tanks or Humvees or personnel carriers, like these. They look like little tanks, but they don't have a turret. But anyway, with whatever sort of unit you were in, you would take your vehicles and you would line them up like a triangle. And we used to just put a flat piece of plastic on the floor. We get a man or a woman on top pouring a 5-gallon water jug over you. There you go. You douche you wash, douche you out of there. You rinse off. But when I was looking at somebody really clapping back about that lady on the broadcast, talking about that Black Americans are dirty, I was just like, it blew my mind, because I've never really heard of a foundational Black American dirty. I just never heard of that, right? We've seen dirty people, maybe coming from work, maybe homeless, okay? But someone who has access to a shower, a cup of water, a sink, because we've seen many of people go inside places just to clean themselves. It's something that's intrinsically in us to clean ourselves. So again, we got to call out the lies where they lay. I'll let it play.
So these black guys you talk about, any of them from Africa?
In China, anytime they see a black guy walking, what do they say?
Now, family, I really want you guys to pay close attention to this next part, because she's going to look at the question at the bottom. So these black guys you're talking about, any of them from Africa? It's as if she knew, right? Why would you ask that? He's African, right? Why would you ask him if they from Africa? Either one, she don't believe it. Number two, she like, well, are all of them from Africa? But she's distinctively stated, the guys that you're talking about, any of them from Africa? As if she kind of knew that none of them was from Africa. Again, I'll let it play.
So these black guys you talk about, any of them from Africa?
In China, anytime they see a black guy walking, what do they say? Every black guy in China is what?
From Africa.
Thank you very much. So don't ask me this question. We are all from Africa. Welcome to China.
Okay.
Sophia.
And that was the lie. That was the lie. You see that? Every time a Chinese person in China sees a black person, they say African. So we all from Africa. You see that? That's the cosplaying. That's the grifting of our culture. And then again, it looks like they're living in China. So again, he's chopping this up as a big win. So not only did he blur the identity, he blurred the facts. But here's the deeper issue, right? Because Black Americans, we are a specific people with a specific history. And that history is why these inventions are miraculous, because they were built under siege. So when somebody says Africa did it, what they're saying is that, you know what, I want to shine, but I don't want the specificity. And that is exactly how a people get erased. That's how they've been trying to erase us for so long. That is why a lot of slave masters were taking the ingenuity and geniuses and inventions of their slaves, because they were property. So they were patenting a lot of the inventions that the slaves were doing. We have to understand that America's racial hierarchy incentivizes distancing. When these people come to our country, they distance themselves from us. This is a segment of immigrants that learn fast. If you can avoid being labeled as Black American, you'll avoid the stigma. And scholars have discussed this immigrant, how they come here and distance themselves from us. They've discussed this distancing dynamics that we have in Black America. But when those same folks want the cultural benefits of Black America's legacy, whether it be music, slang, style, political symbolism, civil rights, inventions, whether it be in math, science, and technology, which we've done all, that's a one-way relationship. That's not solidarity, family. That's extraction. Because why would you say Black the entire time? And then all of a sudden you switch up and say African. And oh, we all African. We all from Africa then, right? And we're going to honor Black invention, honor it correctly, because he was even getting the history wrong. Name the people, which he didn't. Name the nation, what he didn't. Name the history, which he jacked up. Because Black Americans built this under conditions that most ethnic groups, most people wouldn't survive for a weekend. And nobody gets to Africa their way into ownership after the fact. Because this whole, clip here, what he done to teach her Black American history and the inventions that we contributed to society and the world. We understand that schools don't teach you that. But it hit the fan when his wife asked the only question that really matters. Where are these inventors from? And he says, in fact, Africa. Everybody is from Africa, right? And that's where this hustle really starts, because everybody is from Africa. It's a species fact. It's like saying everybody is from Earth and everybody has ancestors and everybody came from somewhere. But that doesn't answer the question. The question wasn't, where did humans originate, right? The question was, where these inventors from, culturally and nationality, who produced them? Where are they from? And again, in this video, the answer is the United States. That's where they're from. Black Americans, foundational Black Americans. And that really matters, because these inventions didn't come out of thin air. They came out of a very specific pressure cooker. It came out of chattel slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, exclusion from capital, exclusion from universities, exclusion from patents, exclusion from contracts. And still, our ancestors built. They still invented. So when somebody tries to collect, those win under the whole label of Africa, like it's a group project, that's not pride, ladies and gentlemen. That's a parasite behavior with a Pan-African bumper sticker on it. I'll be saying some weird stuff sometimes, I tell you. But the truth is, the video, in my opinion, is really mixing, real Black American inventors with internet myth and how he alludes them being African. The biggest lie he told, one of the biggest lies he told, he said that Henry T. Sampson invented the cell phone. Even Sampson himself rejected the claim. He often mistakenly gets credit online. That means he didn't do his research. The widely documented father of the cell phone, again, is Martin Cooper, who was a white man. His team, they made the first public handheld mobile back in the early 1970s. I mean, before we even get to the Africa part, he's doing what a lot of social media does, ladies and gentlemen. Confidence over correctness. So if he says in a light, fun way, and he's kind of relaying his message to his wife, and he's giggling and smiling and celebrating all the great and wonderful things that Black American inventors have done, automatically he's planting a seed that these are the works of Africans. And if you're going to fight misinformation about Black contributions, you can't misinformation as the weapon. That's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline because it feels powerful. It's stupid. So when he says Africa, he isn't celebrating, he's not celebrating African inventors. He's using Africa as a blanket identity. Even though all the while she's listening to the name, she's like Henry T. Sampson, okay? Alexander Miles, okay? Wait a minute. Those are not African names. Maybe that's why she asked. She's like, where are they from? Because the only thing she was hearing is American names. She's like, they either American or British names. But again, he used Africa as a blanket identity to claim Black American wins. Just like Fat Joe tried to claim that hip hop was co-created with Puerto Ricans and Blacks. No. Black Americans have damn near invaded every major genre of music, all the way to bluegrass. And I forgot the name of the music that they actually have in Louisiana. They created that too. Zydeco. They created Zydeco. Hip hop, R&B, blues, country. Yes, country. Neo soul, jazz. Okay. So again, I don't want to go down a laundry list of things because I'm not stating that we're better than anyone else, but I'm saying when you when you know your history, you know your history. I know there's a lot of great inventions that other groups of people have done, and they should know their history as well. Maybe we can teach each other a thing or two. But lying about your culture, lying about who and what you are, and then labeling everything under the term African is totally incorrect. Africa is a continent. And any African that I know, whether they be from Nigeria or Kenya or South Africa or Namibia or Gambia, Angola, Mozambique, doesn't matter where they're from, they're happy and proud to be who they are. He just put it under the term African, avoiding naming Black Americans as a distinct people. See, Black Americans, we're not just Black. We're Black people who live in America with a historic ethnic population created through U.S. slavery, forced cultural compression, and centuries of nation-specific law and exclusion. So when someone takes a Black American invention and calls it African, not as ancestry, by the way, which is true to a certain degree, even no matter how long it is, but as ownership, that's not Pan-African love. That's identity laundering, in my opinion. And it's basically that I want the shine, but not the story. I want the win, but not the blood price. I want the culture, but not the people, right? They come over here, they blend in, they skin in, they appropriate, they grift, they learn our vernacular, they learn our slang, they learn our swag. We've seen this movie forever. We've seen it. And Black American music becomes global Black culture, just like nowadays. And shout out to a lot of the Japanese who are doing breaking, got to the Olympics, but now majority of the faces that you see in breaking are non-Black faces. But again, they stated that they stated that Hispanics or Latinos created breakdancing, which that isn't true. Okay, and this is not to say they haven't created anything. I'm pretty sure Hispanics as a whole, Latinos as a whole created a multitude of different things. But I'm not going to cosplay. I'm not going to blend that, oh, we created this together. There's always a first. And a lot of times how they blend in, they learn our slang, because our slang is internet language, really. And then our struggles becomes everybody's struggles. Black American inventions becomes African invented. Meanwhile, we are still fighting for equitable capital access, patent participation, business contracts, home ownership stability, political protection, and the most insulting part out of all of this, people will happily borrow the legacy, as they always do. But when it's time to name who deserve policies, they suddenly get allergic to a specific group. Well, we have to do stuff for all, for everybody, even though we can go back and look at the ledger and the policies that target direct groups. See, a portion of Black immigrants arrive in society where, Black Americans are stigmatized. So some choose a strategy that scholars have discussed as, again, distancing themselves from us. And the numbers really show how diverse the Black population is now. Because did you guys know back in, was it 23, over 5 million people in the US were foreign born. That's about 11% of the Black population. There's people that you're just finding out that their family is from another country. You just find out. You thought he was a Black American up and down. I guarantee they thought 21 Savage was not from Europe by the way of his African country. They thought he was right there, born and raised in Atlanta. There's family from Atlanta. Don't get me wrong. diversity can be beautiful, or it can create a very weird dynamic. Some people want to be close enough to Black American greatness to benefit, but far enough to carry the stigma. You guys will think that I would have a cheap computer that I built, but I keep having issues with it. I had Best Buy to come out and everything, so I do apologize there. But nevertheless, I'm almost done here. I just really wanted to really point out this message here because I've never seen this done before when it came to our history. You know, I've never seen this happen before when it came to our history of someone really truly grifting and cosplaying our history as if it was theirs. That's the, you know, that's the crazy thing. And there's some things I just want to, the reason why I came back on instead of letting this video ride out is because I do have some lasting comments. Because I don't want anyone to think this is about, you know, ego or showing up, you know, our African brothers and sisters in a bad light. But my whole thing was, if you're going to teach our history, you need to teach it correctly. Because again, here's how I kind of want to look at this. I have my computer do all sorts of weird things here. Give me 1 second. There we go. When he was referring to the elevator doors, Alexander Miles improved the elevator doors. And Garrett Morgan, he talked about Garrett Morgan as well. That's why all the names that he was stated was not a typical African name. They were Black American names, or you could even allude to they were British names in some regards. But Garrett Morgan patented a 3-position traffic light. The first traffic light, I believe, was invented by a English fellow over in England somewhere. It was red and green, I believe. May get the colors a little bit off, but nevertheless, Garrett Morgan invented the 3-position traffic light. Okay, so and then he talked about Mary Kennard patented the, you know, sanitary belt. John Lee Love patented the love sharpener. Okay, excuse me, the pencil sharpener. Thomas Jennings, the first, you know, Black American with a U.S. patent. Frederick McKinley Jones changed transportation refrigeration forever. Then he talked about Henry T. Sampson invented the cell phone, which was false. Martin Cooper did in the early 1970s. So not only did he blur the identity, he blurred the facts. And that's the problem when you grift, you cosplay, and you tether yourself in foundational Black American history. You get lies like this, where an African that is in China is lying to his Chinese wife about Black American ventures and then takes credit for it. And that here is why these inventions are so miraculous. That's what a lot of people are not understanding here. I see some of your comments over here. I just want to make sure that I cover those things because this was quite pathetic in my opinion, right? And again, I know not all people from Africa, not all people from the Caribbean are like this. I'm not stating that they are. Zoe says this is too much tethering. Absolutely. That's why I did this video. If you notice, guys, I haven't really done too many tether videos, even though when I do tether videos, they're some of my highest views. But my whole thing is, I'm not that I'm trying to attack anybody, but this was egregious, right? This was so disrespectful. You know how much pride I have in a lot of our inventors and what they've endured with the meager resources that they created, all these great and wonderful things. Also, it's kind of like our brother. And here's the thing, we're still creating world-renowned inventions. We're still doing great and wonderful things. You guys know this guy right here, right? Moses West. This is recent. Moses West, he created what, the water, I forgot what it's called, the atmospheric water generator. Yeah, AWG. He's the one who brought fresh, clean water to Flint, Michigan, when they didn't have, the city didn't have the resources, as stated, to give them clean water. So he brought his machine for free. And now, I don't know if he sold some of the rights, but there's this white company that I saw that was at CEC. I don't know if I got the right abbreviation for. Every year they hold this tech conference, right? And these companies, I believe the company was from overseas. I don't know if they were from overseas or America, but they created the same thing, but he created it first. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know if he sold the royalties. I don't know if they generate the water in a different technology, because there's all these particular patents that you must get. You know, you got to get a utility patent and a design patent and all these things. Because I try to invent some things and come to find out they was on Temu. They was already on Temu, so I couldn't invent it. Damn Temu. And what's that other one that people are now shopping at? Taobao, Taoboo, something like that, another Chinese site. But Temu already had it, ladies and gentlemen. They already had it. And as I stated before, this isn't about ego. This is about economics and power. Right? Here's another thing. You can be empowered all you want, but you have to understand economics. You have to understand, basic investments, savings account, 401ks. This very basic economics as it pertains to yourself, not even the economy. Understand your own economics. But this is about economics and power. That's what this is about. Because if you erase a group specificity, you can erase their claims. And we've been back and forth with all these tethers, all these people cosplaying and grifting throughout our entire history. That's why the credit fight matters to me. Because Black inventors, as I was stating, even from slavery, they have been historically unrepresented in patents and innovation systems, even while contributing massively. Even the U.S. Patent Office has documented how Black Americans have been significantly underrepresented among innovations in certain samples and historically had low participation rates in patenting due to structural barriers. That came from the U.S. Patent Office. So when the public finally starts learning Black invention history and social media turns it into Africa did everything, bro, it really sabotages the one thing that Black Americans actually need: recognition tied to the correct people in the correct place under the correct history in the correct nation. Don't get me wrong, I love the enthusiasm of them and trying to teach us something. I love the pro-Black energy. But what I don't love is the misattribution, the identity blur turning into that Black Americans build it, everybody else collects it. What he was stating here, these are Black American inventors, and the world benefits from our minds every day. That's it. That's the truth. That's our flex. Instead, he tried to hit the Africa escape hatch. And that's how you turn, as he's trying to educate her, into erasure. Because now she's like, oh, Africans did that. Africans did that. Africans did that. And then somebody going to say, no, Foundational Black Americans did that. American descendant of slaves did that. Heritage Americans did. Black Americans did that. Legacy Black Americans did that. And once you notice this pattern, you'll see it everywhere. So we have to stop it right in their tracks. We have to stop it right in the tracks. Let's see what you guys are saying over here. Erasure has always been the African agenda. Who is this tether African? Oh, man. They need us for our accomplishment. Absolutely. And see, that was the thing. I know you guys saw that viral clip. I didn't even comment on it. I was so inundated writing some other things for you guys, but I just couldn't even talk about it. Remember, I know you guys been seeing that viral clip about the Haitian girl. She was on the Wrap Up Crew. I think it was the Wrap Up Crew podcast. I think it was that one. I could be wrong. I think it was the Wrap Up Crew. They have some good content as well. But anyway, she say, "Are you one of them dirty Black Americans?" And it went viral, right? And then another girl on the panel, I believe, was stating that, hey, everybody got dirty people or whatever, kind of blamed it like that. But she distinctively came on, and the first thing was being disrespectful to foundational Black Americans. And she's in our country disrespecting us because either her family flee from Haiti to America. See, let me tell you something. First and foremost, I'm proud to be a foundational Black American. But if I was not a foundational Black American and I fled to America as the Black Americans would tell me, guess what I would do? Shut my damn mouth. I would be an engineer, a doctor, whatever they think I'm doing. Okay. But guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep my head down. It's like I'm in one of those old school Baptist church where, the priest, what you call it? When you tithe an offering, the offering plate coming, people going to the bathroom, all of a sudden, excuse me. That's how it would be in America. Only my closest friends probably would know my thoughts on particular things, but I won't just run to the internet because now these people are getting deported. Now, some are still on the internet being disrespectful, being very denigrating, while others like, hey, what happened to the Pan-Africanism? What happened to the Black American solidarity with Africans? Like, hey, y'all are brothers and sisters and cousins. But yeah, when you guys got, Nigerian pride, Kenyan pride, you got Libya pride, Algeria pride, you got Morocco pride, okay? You have Ugandan pride. And hey, we love it. I've been to the continent of Africa. I had a great time. Great people, very nice. Don't have nothing negative to say about the African people, but your tethers, I do. Oh, your tethers, your grifters, your call players, your anchors. Oh, they come to America and it's kind of like one bad apple spoils the bunch. They really, just as well as when Black Americans, when we're acting a fool on social media, we got some of our YNs out here. And they kind of paint this negative depiction, even though they should be judged on their own character and behavior as a person, period, not predicated upon their color. But we know that's not the world that we live in. Everything is predicated upon your color. And then that gets exported through social media. So when they come over here and do these things, again, it's kind of informing us how possible millions of Africans feel about Black Americans. Even though there's no way I know that a lot of Africans think the same way that a lot of these tethers from these countries come over, because I've been there and I met the Ghanaian people, very, very nice people, other than the people that try to sell you stuff. That's a whole different type of people. They trying to get your money. But I've met very nice people. I remember the guy who chaperoned us around Ghana for our 2-week stay. His name was Eric. Beautiful guy. He was protecting us like, nope, they do scams over there. He was very informative. And guess what? He didn't add up outside of what he asked for, his daily rate. We allowed him to eat with us. We had tons of leftovers, like take that to your family. He was great to us. And introduced us to other great Ghanaians. When we went to South Africa, we met a lot of South African people, as let alone we met a lot of people from Zimbabwe. Beautiful people, nice people, had all sorts of great conversations. Why a lot of Zimbabweans going down to South Africa? Because of opportunities. But they have it whereas a lot of South Africans don't want the amount of mass immigration because they're taking a lot of jobs from them. I learned about all those things and I never talked about them. Because that is their politics. That is their economy. But when you come over here and you lie on Black American inventions in history, and you cosplay, and then you put it under the umbrella of Africa, that is a farce. That's false. That's falsehoods. And we have to call it out as such. If you guys were to look at this video and you know your history, this would piss you off. When he showed, it rang on me because when he said, you know, this person invented this, like, wait a minute, Alexander Miles didn't invent the elevator, even the automatic elevator doors. And I let that slide. I said, okay, that's easy. But it was misconception after misconception after lie after falsehood all throughout this. It really hit me when he showed the picture. Let me see if I can get back to that point where he showed the picture of George Washington Carver and had the wrong name up there. Let me see if I can find that. Let me see if I can find that for you guys. Because I don't want you guys to think that I'm lying. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. T.A. Warrington did, in fact, invent the first stove, but that's not T.A. Warrington. That's George Washington Carver. This is what I'm referring to. So don't think I'm just hating. Don't think I'm trying to spawn a divide against people. No, I'm just here to tell the truth. And then the food in South Africa was absolutely delicious. We've had South African food. Was another food that was over there was good. People from another country. I forgot the country they were from. But yeah, their food was delicious. And then we went to Kenya. Very beautiful people. Where my wife at? If you guys want some African wives, go to South Africa and Kenya. And my wife can tell you, they have shapely bodies. I'll say that for the internet reasons. And they didn't have surgery, okay? They didn't have surgery. Make sure she ain't sneak up on me. But anyway, but yeah, very beautiful people. So when I'm saying what I'm saying, I'm not speaking to all Africans. I'm speaking to those Africans that grift, that lie, that cosplay, that tether, that anchor themselves inside of our culture, as well as a lot of the Caribbeans, and especially that young lady from Haiti. I made sure I didn't do a video on that. Okay. Let me see what you guys are saying over here. Looks like everyone's quiet. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, I do thank you for joining me here. I wanted to point that out. Hopefully you learned something from this as well, because a lot of people didn't know that T.A. Warrington invented, you know, the stove. There was a lot of misconceptions about Harry T. Sampson inventing the cell phone. Nope, he didn't invent that. He even stated it himself. And again, if you guys want to reference anything I'm stating,
and let me just make,
I can definitely show you that. Okay, this was the video. He kind of told that in. If you look at the bottom, Henry T. Sampson says he didn't invent the cell phone. This was a personal interview, so he definitely cleared that up. Okay, so yeah, there's just a lot of things that hopefully you guys, if you thought he invented it, you know that Martin Cooper, a white guy, invented the cell phone. He invented the gamma electrical cell that they got mixed up thinking that was a cell phone. So again, if you guys learned something great, tell your children, tell your friends and family. But again, anytime I see anything egregious like this, believe you, I'm gonna have to make a video. I just can't let it go. Okay. But thank you guys for joining me.